Hi guys, and welcome back to the Silva Mind Control Method. We're at Chapter 2, Meeting Jose. Jose Silva was born August 11, 1914 in Laredo, Texas. When he was 4, his father died. His mother soon remarried, and he and his older sister and younger brother moved in with their grandmother. 2 years later, he became the family breadwinner, selling newspapers, shining shoes, and doing odd jobs. In the evenings, he watched his sister and brother do their homework, and they helped him to learn to read and write. He has never gone to school except to teach. Jose's rise from poverty began one day when he was waiting his turn in a barber shop. He reached for something to read, and what he picked up was a lesson from a correspondence course on how to repair radios. Jose asked to borrow it, but the barber would only rent it, and on condition that Jose complete the examinations in the back and the barber's name. Each week, Jose paid $1, read the lesson, and completed the examination. Soon, a diploma hung in the barbershop, while across town, Jose, at the age of 15, began to repair radios. As the years passed, his repair business became one of the largest in the area, providing money for the education of his brother and sister, and the wherewithal for him to marry, plus eventually some $500,000 to finance the 20 years of research that led to the mind control. Another man with diplomas, these more conscientiously earned than the barber's, inadvertently sparked this research. The man was a psychiatrist whose job it was to ask questions of men being inducted into the Signal Corps during World War II. Do you wet your bed? Jose was dumbfounded. Do you like women? Jose, the father of 3, destined one day to be the father of 10, was appalled. Surely, he thought, the man knew more about the human mind than the barber knew about radios. Why such stupid questions? It was this perplexing moment that started Jose on an odyssey of scientific research that led to him becoming, without diplomas or certificates, one of the most creative scholars of his age. Through their writings, Freud, Jung, and Adler became his early teachers. The stupid questions took on deeper meanings, and soon Jose was ready to ask a question of his own. Is it possible using hypnosis to improve a person's learning ability? In fact, raise his IQ. In those days, IQ was believed to be something we were born with, but Jose was not so sure. The question had to wait while he studied advanced electronics to become an instructor in the Signal Corps. When he was discharged with savings gone and 200 in his pocket, he began slowly to rebuild his business. At the same time, he took a half teaching job at Laredo Junior College, where he supervised 3 other teachers and was charged with creating the school's electronics laboratories. 5 years later, with television on the scene, his repair business beginning to flourish, and Jose called an halt to his teaching career. His business once again became the largest in town. His workdays ended about 9 each night. He would have dinner, help put the children to bed, and when the house was quiet, study for about 3 hours. His studies led him further into hypnosis. What he learned about hypnosis, plus what he knew about electronics, plus some F's on his children's report cards, brought him back to the question he had raised earlier. Can learning ability, the IQ, be improved through some kind of mental training? Jose already knew that the mind generates electricity. He had read about experiments that revealed the alpha rhythm early in the century, and he knew from his work in electronics that the ideal circuit is the one with the least resistance or impedance, because it makes the greatest use of electrical energy. Would the brain work more efficiently too if its impedance were lowered? And can its impedance be lowered? Jose began using hypnosis to quiet the minds of his children, and he discovered what to many appeared to be a paradox. He found that the brain was more energetic when it was less active. At lower frequencies, the brain received and stored more information. The crucial problem was to keep the mind alert at these frequencies, which are associated more with daydreaming and sleep than with practical activity. Hypnosis permitted the receptivity Jose was looking for, but not the kind of independent thought that leads to reasoning things out so they can be understood. Having a head full of remembered facts is not enough. Insight and understanding are necessary too. Jose soon abandoned hypnosis and began experimenting with mental training exercises to quiet the brain yet keep it more independently alert than in hypnosis. This, he reasoned, would lead to improved memory combined with understanding, hence, to a higher IQ score. The exercises from which mind control evolved called for relaxed concentration and vivid mental visualization as ways of reaching lower levels. Once reached, these levels proved more effective than beta in learning. The proof was in his children's sharply improved grades over a 3-year period, while he continued to improve his techniques. Jose had now scored a first, a very significant one, which other research, principally biofeedback, has since confirmed. He was the first person to prove that we can learn to function with awareness at the alpha and theta frequencies of the brain. Another first, and equally astonishing one, was soon to come. One evening, Jose's daughter had gone to her level to use Day's mind control terminology, and Jose was questioning her about her studies. As she'd answered a question, he framed the next in his mind. This was the usual procedure, and so far the session was no different from hundreds of others that had gone before. Suddenly quiet, the routine was monumentally changed. She answered a question her father had not yet asked. Then another and another. She was reading his mind. This was in 1953, when ESP was becoming a respectable subject for scientific inquiry, largely through the published work of Dr. J. B. Rhine of Duke University. Jose wrote to Dr. Rhine to report that he had trained his daughter to practice ESP and received a disappointing answer. Dr. Rhine hinted that the girl might have been psychic to begin with. Without tests of the girl before the training, there was no way to tell. Meanwhile, Jose's neighbors noticed that his children's schoolwork had remarkably improved. At the beginnings of his experiment, they had been wary of his probing into the unknown, an unknown perhaps protected by forces that were best not tampered with. However, the success of man working with his own children could not be ignored. Would Jose train their children too? After the letter from Dr. Ryan, this was just what Jose needed. If what he had accomplished with one child could be accomplished with others, he would have chalked up the kind of repeatable experiments that are basic to the scientific method. Over the next 10 years, he trained 39 Laredo children with even better results because he improved his techniques a little with each child. Thus, another first was scored. He had developed the first method in history that can train anyone to use ESP, and he had 39 repeatable experiments to prove it, and now to perfect the method. Within another 3 years, Jose developed the course of training which is now standard. It takes only 40 to 48 hours and is as effective with adults as with children. So far, it has been validated by some 500,000 experiments, a measure of repeatability that no open-minded scientist can ignore. Thus, these long years of research were financed by Jose's growing electronic business. No university or foundation or government grants were available for so far out-of-field research. Today, the Mind Control Organization is a thriving family business, with the profits going largely to more research and to support its accelerating growth. There are mind control lectures or centers in all 50 states and in 34 foreign nations. With all the success, Jose has not become a celebrity, nor a guru or a spiritual leader with followers or disciples. He is a plain man of simple ways who speaks with the soft, almost lost accent of a Mexican American. He is powerfully built, a stocky man with a kindly face that creases easily into a smile. Anyone who asks Jose what success has meant to him will be answered with a flood of success stories. A few examples. A woman wrote to Boston Herald America begging for some way to help her husband, who was tormented by migraine headaches. The newspaper printed her letter, then another letter the next day from someone else, also pleading for a way to control such headaches. A physician read these letters and wrote that she had had migraine headaches all her life, and she had taken the mind control and had not had one since. And would you believe it? The next introductory lecture was mobbed, absolutely mobbed. Another physician, a prominent psychiatrist, advises all his patients to take mind control because it gives them insights into some cases will require 2 years of therapy to produce. An entire marketing company was organized as a co-op by graduates who use what they learned in mind control to invent new products and devise ways of marketing them. In its third year, the company has 18 products on the market. An advertising man used to need about 2 months to create a campaign for new clients. About average in his field. Now with mind control, the basic ideas come in 20 minutes and the rest of the work is done in 2 weeks. 14 Chicago White Sox players took mind control. All their individual averages improved, most of them dramatically. The husband of an overweight woman suggested she try mind control because all her diets had failed. She agreed, provided he went too. She lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks. He stopped smoking. A professor at a college of pharmacy teaches mind control techniques to his students. Their grades are going up in all their courses with less studying and they're more relaxed. Everybody already knows how to use his or her imagination. I just get my students to practice it more. I show them that imagination is valid and there's a form of reality in imagination that they can use. Although Jose smiles easily, when he hears, "Jose, you've changed my life," the smile fades a little and he says, "No, I didn't. You did. Your own mind." Now, beginning with the next chapter, Jose himself will show you how to use your mind to change your life. We'll start off the next chapter with how to meditate next time. I'll see you guys later. Stay tuned for the Quantum Learning Series.